I've wanted to talk to you for so long, that
Yeah,
now
me too.
it's just surreal.
Even the good parts were totally surreal.
Hey everyone, welcome back to The Explainer and to another episode of our TalkWord program. This is where we get into the real stories behind English words. Today, we're diving into a word that describes those moments, the ones that feel so impossible they have to be a dream. And to do that, we're going to look at an event that, it pretty much shattered our idea of what's real.
Okay, I want you to just picture this for a second. You're at the bottom of a truly massive skyscraper, one of the tallest on the planet. You look up, way, way up, and you see a tiny figure, a person, and they're climbing the side of it with just their hands. No ropes, no safety net, nothing. Just pure human ability against a fall that, you just don't come back from.
So, who was this person? That climber was the one and only, the legendary Alex Honnold. And his challenge? To free solo Taipei 101. Yeah, you heard that right. A feat so totally out there, it just redefines what we think a human being can do. All right, let's get into the specifics of this insane challenge. The date was January 25th, 2026. Alex Honnold stood in front of the iconic Taipei 101 in Taiwan. And the method? Free solo. Now let's be super clear about what free solo means, because it's the whole point. No ropes, no safety gear, nothing. It means one tiny slip, one miscalculation, and that's it. So just how tall are we talking? 508 meters. Let that sink in for a second. That's over half a kilometer straight up into the sky. It's the kind of height that's dizzying to even think about from the safety of the ground, let alone when you're clinging to the side of it. And in terms of floors, that's 101 of them. One after another after another. Imagine climbing past the 50th floor, then the 80th, with the whole world just shrinking into a tiny little map beneath your feet. Each floor was a battle against gravity and his own mind. And the time it took? Just 90 minutes. An hour and a half. Now that might not sound like a long time, but think about it. That's 90 minutes of pure, unbroken, life-on-the-line concentration. The kind of mental and physical endurance that requires is, it's just off the charts. So you're probably wondering, how in the world did he even do it? Well, it wasn't magic. With his bare hands, he literally pulled himself up, finding grip on these tiny little L-shaped outcroppings on the building's face. These were his only footholds, just incredible strength and the friction of his climbing shoes. Okay, so every climb has a hardest part, right? For Taipei 101, it was a section they called the bamboo boxes. This was the real monster. We're talking about 8 huge segments in the middle of the building. That's 64 floors of climbing that was actually steep and overhanging. Can you believe that? He'd finish one exhausting section and only get a quick moment to rest on a tiny balcony before having to start the next one. And then he made it. After that intense hour and a half, he pulled himself over the top ledge. The Associated Press captured the moment perfectly. Cheers erupted from a street-level crowd as he reached the top. You can just imagine the sound, right? This huge roar from below. And up there, all alone, he just waved his arms, having done something no one thought was possible.
So, you witnessed something like that. What's the word? How do you even begin to describe it? I mean, you could say amazing or incredible, but do those words really do it justice? They feel small. They don't capture how weird, how unbelievable, how dreamlike the whole thing was.
Well, there is a perfect word, a word that's tailor-made for this exact feeling. And that word is surreal. So what does surreal actually mean? It's pretty simple, really. It's an adjective you use to describe something that is so strange, so bizarre, so completely unbelievable that it feels like a dream. Okay, so let's really connect the dots here. Why is Honnold's climb the perfect example of something surreal? To understand that, you have to know where the word comes from. It's from Surrealism. You know that art movement from the 1920s? Artists were painting these bizarre, dreamlike scenes. And that's the key. The word is all about that clash between what your brain knows is real and what your eyes are seeing. Let's break it down. On one hand, you have reality. Reality says gravity pulls you down, period. But what we saw, what felt surreal, was a man who seemed to be defying gravity. Reality says a skyscraper is made of concrete and steel, but what we saw was a person climbing it like it was a mountain. The danger of falling was terrifyingly real, but the fact that he succeeded, that's what felt so surreal. So, let's put it all together. Why was this climb the definition of surreal? First, it was just plain bizarre. I mean, a human being scaling a modern skyscraper. That's not supposed to happen. Second, it was dreamlike. The image of him up there, It just doesn't look like it belongs in the real world. And finally, it was just hard to believe. Even watching it live, it felt like you were watching a movie with special effects. That combination, that's what makes something surreal.
All right, so now it's your turn. You've got this awesome, powerful word in your vocabulary. It's so much more descriptive than just saying something was amazing or cool, right?
You can now use surreal to talk about those truly unforgettable moments. You know, the ones that are so strange and so wonderful that they feel like they can't be real. Maybe it's witnessing a once-in-a-lifetime natural event, or maybe it's seeing a human achievement, like this one, that just blows your mind. And hey, if you love diving into this word and want to explore more, you've got to check out our TalkWord app. You can actually create your own English word explanations just like this one. It's a super fun way to build your vocabulary and share what you're learning.
So, I'll leave you with a question to think about. What's the most surreal moment you have ever witnessed? Really think about it. Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer.
The world is taking a turn for the surreal.